Hello, welcome to the Apartment Rouge. You have found the channel here on YouTube where I do what I call mini readings, which is usually just the reading of one poem, either my own work or someone else's. And I have been trying to get quite the library here on YouTube of poetry from all over the world, all around the world. And usually I just pick up a collection that I'm reading in the moment or have recently read and pick a poem out of it. And sometimes I go searching. I also take requests. So, my blush is significantly darker on one side than the other. We do our best. Anyway, I also take requests. So if there is a poem that you want me to read, pop it in the comments. Yeah? And I'll see what I can do. Pardon my barking dog. She is outside, but you will still hear her. All right, the poem I'm going to read today is from a brand new collection by, I'm going to say, Gil Arzola. And it's called The Death of a Migrant Worker, and it was published by Rattle this year. Brand new collection, so I'm excited to feature it. And the poem I'm going to read is December something, 1973. The dawn is walking, tiptoeing over cold linoleum. The corner where she sits is more than dabbled with her silence. The darkness is twisted like a broken wire across her face. It's short and it's simple, but I love the imagery in it. So I just had to share it. I'm sure you can understand, because that's what this channel is about. Sharing the poésie joie. My name, I forgot to mention in the beginning, is Sabna Roznik, Sabneraznik. And if you are interested in poetry or in my work in particular, I have a website under that name, and I also have social media. I'm on Goodreads. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram and SoundCloud. I'm trying to think if there's any others. There are people out there on the internet who imitate me and who are not me. So exercise some caution. Make sure you grab the right person, right? And you can usually do that by scrolling down through more than one entry in the social media or whatever to ascertain. You can tell after a while that my preferred mode of speaking is not necessarily the same way that I write, but you can pick up on my style after a while and all that, and you can tell who's the imitators and who is not. There are also people out there who are peddling my various books of poetry and visual art, and also peddling my actual visual art separate from the books, and doing so as though it's theirs. Blatant copyright infringement, but I'm just one person against the whole internet, so I can't please everybody. Please use discernment and respect my copyrights. I have bills to pay too, just like everybody else. Unlike most people seem to think, poets are not in a separate realm up here all by themselves. We are human beings just like you. We have bills to pay just like you, and we rely on our art to pay our bills in most cases, or we have a side job. I rely mostly on my art to pay my bills. So be careful about that when you're out on the internet looking for my stuff, right? Make sure you're getting it from a legal source where I will get the royalties that I'm supposed to get, or whatever. Use discernment, as you have to do in most cases when you're working with the internet. I think the internet is like one of the best inventions that man ever came up with, right up there with the wheel. But you do have to exercise discernment when you are on it. Things are not always going to be the way they ought to be, right? Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining me here in the Apartment Rouge for this particular reading, this particular mini poem. Be sure to go back through the channel. There are something like 100 videos now, each video containing a different poem. going all the way back to 2011. Yes, yes, I have been doing this now for a year. I mean, not a year, for a decade. I don't know my brain. Anyway, I've been doing this now for a decade. This channel has existed for a decade. So I'm sure that you will find something you enjoy. Most of, actually all of the poems that I read on this channel, I read the English versions because that is the language I am most comfortable in speaking and using. However, if they are from another country and their original language is in another language, and you are able to read that language, I encourage you to go back and find the original language poems, because poetry and translation is an interesting thing. Unlike most other forms of writing, poetry is extremely difficult to translate. Very thankful for translations, not downing translations at all. They do a hard job. The translators do a hard job. But a poem in translation is not going to be the same as the poem in its original language. And most people who are familiar with poetry are aware of that. So if you are able to read the original language poem in its original language, I encourage you to go back and find that, compare that with the English translation, and enjoy both of them, right? Anyway, also, I encourage you to subscribe. I'm not worried about the YouTube algorithm or anything. I'm not here for anything like that. I'm just here for Poésie et Joie. But I do encourage you to subscribe, because I do not upload on this channel on a regular schedule, and there are multiple reasons for that. But if you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, ding ding, then you will know when I post a new video, and that way you won't miss out on any. Whereas, more than likely, you will miss out on some if you just rely on coming back of your own volition to see what's here, right? That's the only reason why I encourage you to subscribe, because I don't really care about algorithms and getting to the top of the YouTube lists and all that. I'm not into that. But it will help you, if you enjoy this channel, to catch the new uploads when I do upload the new uploads, because I don't do that on a regular schedule. Thank you again so much, and hopefully I will see you soon. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Blow the stress out with it. Take care of yourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually in this particularly challenging time, if you happen to be viewing this while we are still going through what I try to lightheartedly refer to as the plague. Because if we lived in other centuries, that's what they would call it, the plague. And if you're viewing it at another time, then hey, okay. But I'm sure there will be other stresses. So do remember to take time out of every single day. Make it a deliberate part of your daily routine to do one or two things to take care of yourself, specifically mentally and emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever that means for you, because it's different for everybody, right? But it's so important, right? And I will see you the next time I make a video for this channel. Thank you so much. Donne dako ha'i till we meet again.